just trying to navigate adulthood in a world that still expects you to have it all figured out? Welcome to This Is 50 with your hosts, Travis Holmes and Shane McManus.
Filling in for Shane this week is, again, our very own friend, Matt Cochran. How are you?
Hey, thank you very much, Travis. See, I remember this week.
Very good. And Matt Cochran comes from Murder and Coffee, so make sure you check out his podcast. How's that podcast going, by the way? You did a little live show the other night. That was fun.
Yeah, and thank you very much for joining me on that. It's our first show, Murder and Coffee Live, and the whole Murder and Coffee thing is a little bit dark. It talks about murder and coffee, but I wanted to lighten it up a little bit, and you shined a little bit of light on the subject. Well, so thank you very much for.
I'm glad I could help any way I can, Matt.
Yeah.
So we are sitting here in beautiful Marshville, North Carolina, and you are located in Tennessee, a little town just outside of Nashville, or where? I forget where you're located at.
No, we're in East Nashville or East Tennessee. I'm
East
sorry.
Tennessee.
Just tied short of Knoxville.
Okay.
So so we're about 30 minutes from Gatlinburg.
So
Pigeon Forge.
The last couple of days, as you know, living here in these states, North Carolina, Tennessee, we're kind of like brother sister states outside of South Carolina. We've had temperatures close to 15 degrees at night.
Oh, really?
Have you seen those kind of temperatures?
Yeah. So when it started snowing, I think it started.
Oh, you guys got snow?
Oh, we had about 10 inches of snow
this past couple weeks.
Yes. So it started MLK holiday. It started that night,
mm-hmm.
and then it continued. And then the temperatures dropped down to 0 to 1 to 2. And so it just iced everything over.
Do you worry about do you worry about your pipes busting? Do you have any exposed pipes, or because you live in a townhouse, so you're pretty much all buttoned up in there.
Right. But I live on the our townhouse is on the end. So it's so there are some. So yeah, we did the traditional mountain thing is turn the drip faucet on,
mm-hmm.
bleep, bleep, to try to do that. But yes, we worried about that, but it didn't happen. So
now I know it
was cold.
I know sometimes we leave if it's really cold out, because our kitchen sink faces an exterior wall, like all the plumbing and everything, we have to open up the cabinets underneath that, or below that sink, so that the warm air can go in there and not freeze the things. But here's where I was getting at with this freezing weather that you said you got snow. We had freezing weather. Today is 72 degrees, and with 72 degrees comes the fog came in yesterday. The rain came in the day before. And when I say rain, it's that misty rain. That just kind of lingers around and kind of just soaks everything and makes everything wet. And being from Florida, all the houses in Florida were built on slabs. That's just the way they built houses here in the northern states. We now know why they don't build houses on slabs. Because my dad walks out into the garage and he goes, "Well, the floor's all wet. Did you bust the pipe?" And I go, "No, Dad. That's what happens when concrete, 4 inches thick, gets frozen." Technically, right. And then you get this humidity. It's like, the water on the side of a glass. And he's like, "Really?" I'm like, this is my dad. This is the guy who raised me. I'm like, "Dad, do you not understand condensation and how that works?" And he's like, "Wow, I could really slip and fall out here." I go, "Well, Dad, let's not go in the garage, okay?" But we do have since we've moved up here, I can't stand. I walk around barefoot all the time between the house and we have a detached garage, so I walk barefoot all the time, and I like to keep those areas clean. So I do have nice carpets, like area rugs, like a 8x11 that the car sits on, so when you get out, you're not trampsing everything, especially living here on the farm and tracking dirt in and out of stuff. I'm constantly taking the backpack blower and blowing the garage out and cleaning everything out. So we have carpets in the garage, which I don't know is that weird to have? I don't think it is, because it keeps it keeps that dirt traffic from coming into the house.
And so we have carpets, if you want to, or rugs that you come in and out of, and then we put some inside so you don't track anything in. But I'm like you, I walk barefoot in the snow. So, and I love doing that, so I don't have to worry about it. My wife, she goes out every now and then and takes a look, and but normally during the snow apocalypse that you might have is you just throw towels down. Like bath towels.
No, see, I can't.
That's where you put.
That's a little ghetto for me. Little ghetto.
No, you get some of the old ones. You throw them down.
No.
We don't have in Tennessee or in the mountains and stuff. You don't have any basements. You don't have anything like that. So the air comes up and freezes the pipes or anything like that. So we just go outside and just walk back in and wipe our feet, and we're done.
Do you have a garage, or do you have a carport, or are the vehicles outside on the driveway?
No, they're just outside on the driveway.
Oh, okay.
And have been for 20 years. Go ahead.
It was just hard to explain to my dad that he couldn't understand the concept, wrap his mind around the concept of the concrete got cold. And I mean, literally, it's like, it's wet out there. Everything is wet. We have 2 refrigerators out there. We have not a walk-in cooler, but a big old stand-up cooler that we keep all our eggs in. It's got the glass door on the front, like you see at a restaurant or something, at the beer cooler type thing. And everything's sweating. And then we're sitting in the house, and I sit at the island there, and I'm going through news stories on my phone and figuring out what's going on. And my dad goes, "Is the AC on in the house?" And I go, "Yeah, Dad." I go, "But it's not because it's hot out. I'm trying to get the humidity out of the house." And so he's like, "Well, it's freezing." I'm like, "Dad, I put it on 74. And he's like, "Oh man, I got to put a jacket on or something." But I'm like, if you don't, you just at night, you just stick to the sheets, and it's just, ugh.
Yeah. Yeah. So the cold that doesn't bother me. But we do the same thing. And my in-laws, my mother-in-law and father-in-law, when we go to their house, it's like I have to go outside because they think if it's 76, 78 outside, they got to turn on their fireplace. They got to do all the burning, and I can't even breathe. And so I have to go outside to do that because there's no
70. Come on, Matt. 78 degrees are turning on the fireplace.
I am not kidding.
Come on.
Yes.
I think you're embellishing a little bit.
They do. No. And over the years, since I've been part of the family, they have learned that when I come down there, that they got to turn it down. But then my mother-in-law, God bless her soul, she's a wonderful woman. She has to put on flannel pajamas, flannel
underwear,
this, that, and the other, and then have
wool socks,
electric blanket, turn on, and then I get up in the morning. I get up around 6. That's just the way I am. So I'll go outside at 6 a.m. and it's up in the mountains. It's like 10, 15 degrees, 20 degrees, 30 degrees, whatever.
Love it.
And I'm sitting. Yes, and I'm sitting out in my shorts watching videos, watching you, Travis.
It's kind of weird.
Trying to do that.
Whatever keeps you warm at night, Matt. Whatever keeps you warm.
Yeah. Well, it keeps me warm, right? But I don't understand. I think it's an age thing. The older you get, the colder you get.
Yeah, I think my dad's meds. My dad's on a whole bunch of medication. He's 77 years old, and he's dealing with a lot of stuff, and we'll dive into that here as we get on with the show. I have good news for you, Matt. Real quick, and we'll take a little break. I'm allowed back in my bedroom now. I've been sleeping in the guest bedroom for the last week, and I'll dive into the details when we come back. So stick around. We'll be right back.
That's awesome. Whenever you can get back into the master bedroom and do a little ba 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 or whatever.
There's no ba 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 because everyone's sick. My wife's still.
Or even blow your nose. It sounds like blah 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 blah. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It takes a while.
Where's the wife at? She working today?
No, she's downstairs, and I told her recorded a show so she doesn't have to shovel snow. That was her out there shoveling snow in the last episode.
Was it really her?
No.
Oh, that would have been funny as hell. Shut up! You shut up! I'm doing this so you can get out in the morning, asshole.
You gotta go to work.
You ready?
Yep.
Here we go. Matt.
What's up, Travis?
You know what this is right here? Well, let me see. If you're watching this on the YouTube video.
Oh, that's a nasal strip.
When you say nasal strip, what is that? I mean, what is that?
Or it's either a nasal strip or a mini tampon.
If you're watching this on the video. Oh, I gotta fix
Maxi-pad.
I gotta fix the zoom here. Hold on.
Oh,
there we go. So I'm wearing this on my nose. So my wife was complaining when we got back from New York. You know, we went up to Long Island, and she ended up with COVID. We, took the plane ride back. On Monday, we landed. Thursday, she felt like really sick and stuff. But prior to that, I was having like really, really dry, because we were running the heater. It was 15 degrees at night. And she's like, babe, you were snoring. I go, God damn. Was I snoring loud? She's like, oh, hell yeah. You were snoring way loud. My throat was all raw and, not sore throat like a sick or a cold, just from my fucking, my things vibrating back and forth from snoring.
I did that again.
Yeah. This is what it sounds like. Keep going, baby. Keep going. No, but you said you wear a CPAP or something, don't you?
I do.
You do wear a CPAP. So I said, I'm not there yet. And Shane has been telling me, because that's what his wife sells. She's a technical director for a sleep study program, whatever. That's what he does. So he's always like, I can't get a CPAP because I'm fighting the breathing and stuff. And I'm like going, that doesn't sound good. So when my wife said she was sick, so I said, well, let me go out and get like the Theraflu and all the medicine and the Zicam and all that. And I saw a box of these. And I think there's like 25 in a box. And it was like $3. I go, well, for $3, compared to $1,800 on a CPAP, let's see if I can fix this right here. So I was allowed back into the bedroom because my wife is now cleared. She's done the 5-day quarantine. And I said, all right, babe, we're gonna try this out for the first time. She's like, you want me to put it on you? I'm like, oh yeah, baby, nice and slow. So she peels the back off. She's like, all right, put it on your nose and pinch it and hold it there for 30 seconds. So I did it.
Yeah. Put
it on. I'm like, what's that?
She didn't want to take a shower that night. That's the reason she asked you to pinch your nose.
Exactly. So I woke up the next morning, or woke up this morning, and I said, was I snoring last night? She's like, you know what? It's funny. You were snoring, but not anything that would keep me awake. Not anything that would rattle the walls. There's not anything. Now, here's something that I found out as far as snoring goes. Before I went to New York, before Thanksgiving, I weighed myself. And I told you that I was doing the Whole30 diet and everything. And I got myself down to 263 pounds. When I was at that weight, I barely snored at all. And I'm sure that, you can hear I got a little congestion right now in my voice.
Yeah. Sounds sexy.
Yeah, thank you. And coming up next, After Hours.
Yes.
So
damn good show.
I put on 17 pounds since Thanksgiving, and I'm starting to snore again. And so I said, well, until, I can get back on track and start doing the Whole30 diet, I said, let me try these out. She said, yeah, it worked. She's like, you snored, but not, like I said, rattling the walls and everything. So I didn't know if you've ever had to deal with those before or not.
Oh, yeah. So before I got my CPAP or my savior, if you want to say that, I rattled the walls. Even my kids were like, "Oh my God, what is going on with him?" They couldn't sleep. My wife couldn't sleep. But the first night that I got my CPAP, um, I put it on, and my wife was like, "Are you okay? Are you dead? You're not making a noise.
Wake up, Matt. Wake up.
Wake up." And here's one thing. Have you ever heard about the Dutch oven?
Oh,
Doing
yeah.
a Dutch oven?
When you fart and
Right.
hide the head.
Yeah. I know. Well, when you have a CPAP, you can do that because you have this oxygen mask going in, and you can cover up your head and sleep with all the covers on top of your head, and you don't have to worry about smelling anything or doing anything. You can do anything.
Fun time at Matt House, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So I like to on Sundays I like to cook a big pot of beans and lentils and pintos and cabbage and all that stuff, and then do the Dutch oven. And then I don't care about it because I've got the CPAP. I can filter all that stuff out and I can breathe. And so, but no, the CPAP is awesome. So you ought to try it.
Well, I'm probably not going to try it. I need to get my weight down. That's the main thing. I don't want to have to, instead of being happy with, the way I look and the way I am, I want to fix that. So part of that would be, watching my diet, and, I'm borderline diabetes because my mom has it, my dad has it, and so on and so forth. So instead of trying to, medicate what's already going on, let's go ahead and fix what's going on. And that's where I've been doing the Whole30 diet. I'm doing good. We're doing good. We're getting back into shape, my wife and I, and just watching what we eat. But the big thing that I noticed before, when my wife had COVID and I had to sleep in the spare bedroom, which is across the hallway from my dad's room, the guest bed that we have in there, I think we paid, it's a queen size, like from IKEA, that type thing, the structure and everything, you kind of put it together with a wrench. The mattress and box spring, I think both of them together were $350. And I'm like, all right, well, $350, it's a guest bedroom. How many times do we have people come over? And I laid on it, and it's like laying on a piece of plywood. It's hard. I'm like, oh, great. That's what my back needs. Matt, you don't know this. I've got 2 crushed vertebrae or fused vertebrae in my back. So when you have something hard like that, it feels good to sleep on.
Right.
And then I went into night number 2 and then night number 3. And what happened was the bed, this $350 mattress and box spring, was not responding or not coming back to form after I got out of bed in the morning. So it had this lump, this indention of me laying there. Here I am, 280 some odd pounds laying in this thing. And then I lay it in again, and that dip would get deeper, that cave would get deeper, and it's hurting my back and hurting my hips and hurting all. Finally, laid in my bed. Now, I have a sponsor on another program, the Purple Mattress. Have you seen the Purple Mattress?
Actually, I have one. We have a king size purple mattress.
So you're familiar with the Purple Mattress?
Yes.
We have, I think, the 3, the whatever Super 3 or something like that. Paid about,
I think there's 3. It's sort of in between because it's sort of soft, but it's sort of.
I think
it's sort of like a 50-year-old.
I think we spent like $3,500 on this mattress.
Yes.
So I'm laying in that bed, and I'm like going, holy Jesus Christ, the difference. You get used to it. That's the mattress you sleep in. When you go to a hotel, they've got, good mattresses, so they don't have to replace them every 5 minutes or whatever like that. You go to your in-laws' house or your family member's house, and they kind of have good mattresses. Like in Long Island, they didn't, but
it's not purple.
It's not a purple mattress, but still, I was laying in and I was like, oh my God, it feels so good. I can feel the difference in this bed after sleeping on that $300. I mean, just the price point, you're like, oh, well, what? It's a mattress, right? It's a mattress. You just lay in it. It's springs, it's foam, it's material. What's the difference? Oh my God, what a difference. And I've been,
Yeah, there is a difference. Even whenever our kids come over and visit, some of them will come and grab and go and get in the bed with us or whatever. And they're
How
like,
old are your
"Oh
kids there,
my
man?
God." Well, yeah, no, it's like Charlie in a chocolate factory.
Yeah.
They all come in, head to toe. But no, they'll come in, one or two at a time or whatever. But they get in the bed and they've never experienced anything like that. They're like, "Oh my God, this bed feels so good."
It's a different feeling. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. And I have hip issues. I've had a hip replacement, and this and then bursitis and then everything you can imagine that goes along with getting 50. But this mattress is the only thing that has saved me. And we have in our spare bedroom, we have one of those things I bought because nobody ever really comes over that much. So I thought, okay, get something. So I did the same thing. I bought a, $200-$300.
Yeah. They'll be here 1 or 2 nights and then they're gone. They're not sleeping on it for weeks.
Yeah. And then occasionally I'll try to take a nap in it and try to do, just whatever. And I'm miserable.
Yeah.
And then I go get in the purple and I'm good.
Yeah, my wife had doubts about it, but man, I did all the research and did all the stuff, so I really appreciate those guys over at Purple. All right, I've got to get out of this area. I went shopping where I'm living at. Jesus Christ! If I was shopping with my dad today over at Food Line because he's getting old, man. He can't walk around. He can't do a lot of things. I said, Dad, well, let me take you to Food Line and. You can get in the little mobile cart and then, take you shopping and stuff. But man, I didn't realize how bad this area was getting, and I'll dive into that when we get back. So stick around. We'll be right back.
I tell you what, that honestly, I'm like you. That king size purple mattress was by the time you finance it or do whatever, it was $3,500.
Oh yeah,
right? And they kept, but that's the best investment that I've ever.
They've got like Casper and Cloud and all these other knockoffs and stuff. But I think the one we got, we got it with it's a cover because we had no, just the mattress. But we got a stain resistant cover on it. So because at the time we had dogs that would sleep on the bed and sometimes they would have an accident. We didn't want that getting into the mattress. We also got a. If you bought this, you got this extra, and it was like a seat cushion, extra pillows, and all that stuff. So it was, whatever promotion they had, and we've had it for almost 10 years now. So, all right, you ready?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Whenever you want.
Matt, is that tobacco or tobacco flavored or whatever it is? You're vaping there.
It is. It's a well. I don't know. We may get canceled over this, but it's a Views, and it's just nicotine and tobacco flavored.
Oh yeah,
it's not the Delta 8, Delta 9, or all that crap. That
THC stuff.
Buy now. So, yeah. So, I guess I could buy that, but
I don't want to right now. And stop putting me on the spot, Travis.
Yeah.
No.
You're very good. You're very good at doing that. Like calling me out and saying, "Oh, what are you drinking? What are you doing? What are you smoking? What are you doing?" And there you go, coughing up a lung.
Oh, that was a big one. Lung. My wife hates when I say lung mustard.
Lung mustard. Anyway, yeah, no. So I don't want all the.
I'm losing you. All right, there you are.
Okay, good.
Much more better.
Much good.
I don't know. What were we talking about? What were you saying? What's your name again?
I have no idea what my name is. Mud.
So I was thinking my dad, trying to be nice to him and take him to Food Line. Because he can't. Mm-hmm. I mean, he tries to walk around and stuff, and he's sick too now. So I piled him into the car, and he's like, "We're not taking the truck, are we?" I go, why? He's like, I can't, because we've got was it a quarter? No, it's the 2500 series. So it's a bigger truck that we have here. And he can't, steps on the running board. And then for him to pull his body up into the truck is an ordeal for him. I said, Dad, we can just lay you in the back in the bed of the truck and just we'll drive from there. No, I can't. Right. So we take my wife's car, and she's got a small little SUV that we take out there. And so we're driving, and I don't have any conversation with him. I'm just sitting there driving, just trying to maintain the road and stuff. And he'll say, oh, what about this? What about blah? He's coughing and hacking up and stuff. And, I answer his questions. And we finally get to Food Line, and he gets out. And, actually, he said, don't park here. I'm like, why? He goes, I don't want to walk from the parking spot to Food Line to the front door. I said, all right, Your Highness, I'll bring you to the front door. So he gets out, and he's looking for like one of those little mobile carts, because he can't walk for the most part. Right. He's a big guy. I mean, he's about 6'3", and he's probably 297. I mean, he's a big guy. So he his legs are gone. His feet are gone. So anyways, he's driving around Food Line, and we're driving around and stuff, and I'm walking around Food Line. Now, keep in mind, we live in this small little 2 square mile town with about 2,500 people, and we are out in chicken country. And let's just say there's not a whole lot of beautiful people in this area. You know what I mean?
They try to steal your eggs.
They are, there are a lot of migrant workers. There are a lot of people that live in mobile homes. There are a lot of people, but there is money on one side of the tracks. That's kind of where we're living at. But I mean, you can buy your dollar goes further when you buy land and property out here.
Right.
But there are a certain clientele of like generations and generations. And I'm looking at these people in Food Line, and I look at them, and I'm like going, Jesus Christ. Now, my wife goes, you're very judgmental. I said, if I'm not judgmental, I'm judging the people that I don't want to end up being like. That's how judgmental I am. So I say, this one guy's, he's, half his teeth are gone. He's wearing like 4-day-old clothes. He's got stains and everything on him. Like, oh, Jesus Christ, is this the town I live in? I worked long and hard my whole entire career to live in granted, we have a very nice house, a very modest house. We have 22 some odd acres here. We have horses. We have the luxuries of living in a big town or in a big city, but on a lesser budget. This house, and you take this house and this property and put it anywhere else, it's a $10 million house.
Million.
Yeah.
Yeah. Million.
So, and I'm sitting there going, granted, all right, this is what and you see this one lady, she's just so fucking fat, and when she moves, it takes the left side of her body a half hour for the right side of the body to catch up. And I'm like, I'm looking at him. I'm like going, God almighty, I'm so shallow and so judgmental. I was like,
in the
grocery store. And I'm like going, God, I've got to get out of this town. We've got to sell this place, get some money out of it, and let's move to where people have at least, almost all of their teeth. That's the only thing I have to say about this little town. And I hate to say that because they've supported, everything we've done, and we've gone to, festivals and stuff. And they're like, oh, hey, Deacon or Travis or whatever you want to call me. But Jesus.
Yeah. So I think teeth, when you go to the store, indicates a lot of where you live at. I don't know how to explain that, but I've seen these people that are, God, we're going to get canceled, Travis.
That's fine.
Do this.
That's right.
No, give them your email address, and I'm not going to do anything right. So, they're 500-600 pounds, and they get government assistance, and then they're racketing the Oreos. They're doing all this.
They're buying all the EBT stuff, and I understand. Please believe me. By all means, I'm not making fun of their financial status. I'm making fun of their physical status.
But I mean, it's like, can you not teach these people? And yes, I understand it's more expensive to eat healthy, but when you eat healthy, you don't eat as much. because the protein, or what have you.
Well, outside of the 500 and 600 pound woman, she probably lives there's only 3 fast food joints in our town. There's a Wendy's, there's a Bojangles, and then there's I think a McDonald's, and that's it. I mean, that's how small this town is. You got to drive over to the next town over, which is a university. It's a private school. It's a university, Wingate, and they've got like Burger Kings and Domino's. It's a college, artsy town. Mm-hmm. But then there's these couples where they basically both look like each other. The guy's got really long hair and a beard. She's got really long hair and somewhat of a beard. They both smell like they've been smoking in their mobile home in their trailer park. They've been, they just covered. And I was like, God, I got to get out of this place. There's no way. I'm in the wrong industry. I'm in the wrong industry for this area. Is what I'm saying.
So did they came from the Shady Acres mobile home park in Kentucky.
Oh yeah.
But no, I so I totally understand what you're saying, is because you see all of these folks and then you're like, okay, I am working my ass off every day.
And I'm not saying that these people don't work their asses off too. It's just that there's
really.
Well, I mean, for the most part, they have to have some kind of living and stuff. But I guess I said it to myself and I kind of speaked out and I maybe fixed my own thought there, is that I'm in the wrong industry doing, the podcasts and stuff like that in this area. For example, like I said, you take this house and put it in another market, it's a $10 million house. You take all the stuff and everything that I'm doing here and you put it into a top 30 rated town or city or whatever like that. Like I came from Orlando. So I have all these opportunities in Orlando to thrive and make communications and connections and all that stuff. Now, my wife, on the other hand, she rides horses. She can't ride horses in downtown Orlando. So you have to go, what field are you going to be in and be successful at the same time?
Right. So what are you saying? I mean, these folks are going to ride the chariots of the grocery store, no matter what you do, right? They're going to do that. And it's a matter of re-educating everything that anybody wants to do. It's called the sad American diet. And they think that the cheapest things are the best things. And unfortunately, the cheapest things are the worst things, but the most expensive things are the best things. But it balances out.
Well, you know what balances out?
What's that?
So my dad, we get home from shopping at Food Lion with all the weirdos that are in there. And my dad said a couple days ago, he's like, I put in for more COVID tests, because you can get them through the mail, through your healthcare. And they're free. You just got to apply for them. So he gets them. They come in. And I told you my wife took it. She took it twice. She had it both times. She took it like on day 1 and day 3. Sure enough, she had it. And then I took the test on her day 3. Didn't have it. Mm-hmm. And then she took it one more time on day 5, still had it. Me, still don't have it. And so my dad, I said, well, when you come inside and you put your groceries and stuff away, in the mail came the COVID test today. So I said, okay, Dad. I said, I'll help you take the test. He's like, I've never done it before. I said, you got the shot. He goes, yeah, I've got 2 shots. I've got 2 boosters. I got all that stuff. So he gets in the house and, he's having problems walking around. He's trying to put his groceries away. I'm like, Dad, go sit down and relax and regain your strength and we'll attack this COVID test. He's like, all right. So I'm sitting in the back room with my wife while she's working, and we got one of those yoga balls that you sit on, and I like sitting on it because I sitting on the chair. I can sit on the chair all day long, but it's not going to do anything for me. I'm just one of those people, like if I'm standing, I might be doing like calf raises or something, just to make myself better doing something. So I like to sit on those yoga balls and just kind of rock back and forth and just kind of create an internal core type thing. I'm not doing it, for timing or anything. I'm just sitting on the ball, just kind of making myself useful personally. My dad comes walking in and I can hear him come from the other side of the house because we had the hardwood floors and, And
Sure.
those are getting closer. And I'm like, going, what's Dad doing on this side of the house? He's like, hey, can you help me do the COVID test? I'm like, yes, Dad. I said, you didn't have to walk all this way. Remember those intercoms you bought everyone for every room? You could have just said, hello, paging Dr. Travis. I said, Dad, go sit in my chair at the end of the bar in the kitchen, and I'll set it all up. So I set it all up, and I'm reading the instructions. All right, here we go. Take this, stick it in your nose, Dad. Wipe it around 4 times. He wipes it around 4 or 5 times in each nostril. Sticks it in the little vial. Rub that around. Put the cap on it. Shake it up. And then you open up this little, it's about the size of a stick of gum. And you put 3 drops. And then it says if it's a blue line and a pink line, it's totally different now, that you have COVID. Right. As soon as I put the drops in there, he goes, how long does it take? I go, well, it says 10 minutes. So I'm sitting there watching it, and I see 1 line. I go, oh, God. And then I see, not even 45 seconds later, line number 2 pops up. And I'm talking, there's no, well, maybe. No, they're both, one's blue as a sunrise. The other one's pink as a, well, you can use whatever pink you want in there. Pink as a salmon or whatever. I'm like, Dad, you've got COVID. And he goes, shit. He goes, all those shots for what? I go, I don't know. For what? For what, Dad? He goes, what do you mean for what? Now we're playing this, what's the Laurel and Hardy? Not Laurel and Hardy.
Oh, yeah. Who's on first?
Yeah, who's on first? Yeah, back and forth. So I go, you got all those shots for what? For what? I don't know. He's like, no, they're not for what. So my wife in the other room, what's wrong? What's wrong with him? He's got it. She's like, shit. I go, shit is right. Because in my mind, don't forget how we started this whole conversation. Yeah. I asked my dad, hey, do you want to go to Food Line? Are we getting in the truck? No, we're getting in my wife's small little SUV. And we're going to drive down there. And it's, 7 miles to get there. It's a small little grocery store. And he's coughing and hacking and asking and talking and doing all this stuff. And I'm like going on all the way there and all the way back. I'm like going, Jesus Christ, what? I swear to God, if I fucking get it. Now, as you can tell, I've got a little congestion in my voice.
Yeah.
But
what are you going to do about it, though? Get a little congestion in your voice, or are you going to admit that something has happened to you?
Well, my wife already knows.
If you do,
my wife already knows. I said, I feel a little achy and stuff. I don't have a fever. I've been taking my fever like every 4 hours. Nothing. I'm good. I'm still 98, whatever. Do the little digital thing underneath my tongue and stuff. Nothing wrong there. Not a sore throat, but you can hear a raspy, dry throat. And then congestion. Like I've been coughing up like lung mustard, like I said before, but nothing.
No,
really.
We couldn't hear that at all.
What's that?
Yeah, we couldn't hear that at all about you coughing up lung mustard. So you can never fool your wife. So whenever I get kind of sick, even with a cold or whatever, I get something black under my eyes, something purple or something like that. She's like, I know you're getting sick. And I'm like, no, I am not. I swear to God, I'm not getting sick.
I'm not sick. I just don't feel well. There's a difference.
I will never be sick.
There's a difference. Sick, I'm down. I don't feel well. I can still get up and pound a case of beer or whatever.
Yeah. Well, anybody can pound a case of beer whenever they're sick, and you're living proof of that right now. So.
Exactly. And now, speaking of living proof, and you were talking about the blood thing underneath your eye, the day before, my dad went to the skin doctor to get some stitches removed. Now, I'll dive into what happened when he got back, because he was like going, I can't win for losing. So I'll dive into that story when we come back. So stick around. We'll be right back.
So, my wife, she can call every time she knows, because I start watering out of one eye, and then I get black underneath the other eye, and she's like, and then I get extra grumpy, and because A man's not supposed to get sick. I had so many concussions. People brought me up, and I live with my grandmother. And I was passed out in the middle of the road. They brought me up there, and I woke up 2 days later, and she never took me to the doctor. It's like,
I love to sleep it off.
Rub some dirt on it.
Yeah, I'm sleep it off. He'll be all right. Man, wake up, man.
So, yeah. Hey, you're good. You're good. Oh, the good old days. And now everybody wants to go to a safe space. Oh, somebody offended me. So, oh, my goodness. Let's get you some puppies and puppets. Make sure that you feel good about yourself. So,
you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Here we go. Matt, do you have not to get into your personal business, but do you have a retirement fund and everything all set up? Do you have a life insurance policy and all that stuff situated for you? You and the missus?
Yeah. So I have a pension that can be transferred over.
Where's your pension from?
It's from the VA, from getting blowed up in Iraq.
Oh, really?
To be honest with you. Yeah.
Oh, hence the purple mattress with all your hip and replacements and stuff. Got it. All the puzzle pieces are coming together now.
But so I've researched it because I don't feel like I've got that much longer to live. But
can I have your watch when you are dead, mister? Do you know what movie that's from?
No, what was that?
Can I have your watch when you are dead, mister?
Oh, yeah.
What movie is that from?
So, I have no idea. What was it?
The Three Amigos.
I was just, okay. Oh, well, the Three Amigos. I can tell you some stuff, but we would definitely get canceled. So she can get survivor benefits or whatever it is that goes on in Social Security and this, that, and the other.
So you're set up, I guess, for the lack of your rambling there. You're set up as far as like retirement and everything. You're working towards a goal.
But the thing is that I get pissed off is because everybody gets the benefit after I die.
I know. That's the best part.
Yeah, I'm
glad.
Why,
he left me $200,000.
Life insurance policy. Yeah. Why am I going to take $1 million life insurance policy out to do this, and I don't even get to enjoy it?
To improve your legacy. Don't you want a legacy to leave behind?
My legacy is him taking a crap in a truck stop somewhere versus, what's my legacy? I don't have a legacy. My legacy is you, Travis.
Oh, come on.
And that's pitiful.
A lot of smoke in here. Hold on. Let me get this out of here.
No. Yeah. So they'll be fine after I go. But you know what? Whenever I go, who cares, right? Because I don't have nothing to do with.
Well, I mean, you say who cares, and I've been thinking about that as far as like my mom passed away, and I've said this many times over and over and over. The stuff that she valued when she was alive. Like the little tchotchkes, the little precious moments, the Norman Rockwell things that she had to have during Christmas time. Oh my God, this is beautiful. I'll never, I'll have this with me until the day I die. Well, then she dies, and then I'm trying to sell it like at garage sales and stuff. Nobody wants it. I threw all that stuff away. Didn't want anything to do with that. But one of the things is, when my mom passed away, my dad sold the house, and so he had a lot of money. Not capital gains, but he made a lot of money on the house. He had my mom's life insurance policy, and then they had a little bit of money. They had a hidden nest egg that was like $10,000 in a bank account for emergency funds, and he was finding out all these different monies that he is now.
Right.
My mom ran the household funds, if you know what I mean. Like most women usually do that, and the man sits there and goes, I'll just work. You just make sure all the bills are paid and I have a hot meal on the table. Right. So when we were up in New York, her uncle, her dad's brother, her dad has passed away, as I told you before. He's a banker. He's not an investment banker, but he's a banker. And when I say banker, he's like sits on the chair of many other banks in that area. So he's pretty financially sound as far as advice if I was going to take anything from someone.
Right.
So I was saying, hey, look, I've got, I haven't been putting into my Roth IRA for the last 3 years because, I put in, let's just throw a number out there. I put in $100,000 in 2 Roth IRA accounts. And within the since Biden has taken over, I've lost almost 13% of that. It never gained. It never did anything. And so I said, you know what? I'm not putting any more money into this because as soon as I stick $1,000 in there, within 3 days, I'm down $600. And I'm like, going, well, what the fuck did I do? So I've been sick. I've been just sitting in this low money market account where I think it's got like 1.2% or something like that. Not to get into financials or anything. So I just been sacking all that money in there because I'm waiting for the next election. So I was talking to him. I'm like, look, I've got, X amount of dollars here. What should I do? And he goes, well, is it liquid money that you can use or whatever like that? And I said, well, we don't really need it. My job here is to be the retirement fund. Everything that I earn and everything is supposed to be going towards our retirement fund. We don't need my income to survive. But we do need my income to retire. Now, my wife has a 401k through her business and she gets all that stuff. So she's doing her end. She's doing what you're normally supposed to do. And on my end, I don't have to worry about that. I just pay for what keeps the show up and running, what keeps, the microphones on, the electricity on, and then retirement. We're not relying on our, the salary. So he goes, well, why don't you go to that Capital One? They've got CDs at, 4.9%. You can put it in there for 9 months. You can put it in for 6 months, so on and so forth. Then he goes, well, what kind of other money are you talking about? I said, well, I've got $100,000, but I don't want to invest the whole entire $100,000 just in case something happens. He goes, well, why don't you do something called direct liberty or something like that. I forget what it's called, where you can put $25,000 in there and for 30 days, let that build. And at the end of that 30 days, you can make $500. Okay. It doesn't sound like much, but then you can take another $2,500 or $25,000 and put it in the next month into a separate, and basically you're just leapfrogging that money. So at the end of 30 days, you will have that $25,000 available to you plus the $500 that you earned. And then you can say, okay, I'm going to take that $25,000 and invest it again. And then when the next month expires, you take that $25,000. You're saying you're just kind of leapfrogging the $25,000. Right. So you can set up 4 months in a row. Every month you're going to get $25,000 available to you plus the $500 and some odd dollars that goes down. I know I probably lost a third of the audience there, but I'm telling.
Yeah. Compound interest is what you're talking about.
So I told my dad this. And I said, Dad, you've got all this money, and where is it sitting? He's like, it's sitting in my savings account. I said, earning what, 0.0% or 0.07%? He's like, yeah. I go, Dad, you've got to do something with that money. It's bad to have this sitting in an account. He looked at me, and I told him the exact same thing that I told to you. And he looked at me, he's 77. He goes, bad knees, bad legs. He goes, I really don't want to mess with that stuff. He goes, I can barely spend the money that I have with his Social Security. He has, benefit package for being in the Army. He goes, I can barely spend the money that I have now. He goes, when I'm gone, you can do that. You can do whatever you want with that money. That's your money. It's your mom and my money towards you. This is what, I can't spend that money. And I kind of go, I don't want to say that, if he's going to, I hate to say if he's going to die, if he dies in 5 years, or if it, doesn't last for 5 years, that money could have been leapfrogging for the last 5 years and could have been substantially a lot more money, but it's sitting in an account, earning pennies on top of pennies. And I was like, all right. And I told my wife that, and she's like going, well, I mean, if he doesn't want to do it, he doesn't want to do it. So,
well, the thing is that especially when folks get older, you just got to let them do what they want to do, right? And let them invest however they want to invest. You cannot do anything with them. You can talk to them. You can try to tell them, look at this, whatever on streaming. This, they don't understand that. They understand, especially 70 some years old back, they understand depression, right? They don't trust the banks. They don't trust anybody. And they especially don't trust you, Travis, because I don't trust you.
Look at this face. If you're watching us on YouTube, look at this face.
No.
You could trust this face right here.
Yeah. So
no, but what I brought up, before, you know, my mom was the one that ran the financials. She was the one that delegated what money went to what account and all this other stuff. And my dad was basically left out of it. And I don't think he understands. I think he's scared to. And I didn't want to say, well, Dad, because as soon as my mom passed away, he put me on all his accounts. Now, granted, I don't get in there and I don't look at his stuff. I don't care about his activity. I don't do any of that stuff. That's all on him. But if whatever reason he passes away or he doesn't want to go through what he went through with his name not being on certain accounts under my mom's name. So he put me on all of his accounts and did all that stuff. He's like, you have total access to it. He goes, if you want to do it when I'm gone, you can do it. He's like, I don't really have the time or the effort. He's just worried about staying alive.
Staying alive, right? So the bottom line is, what are you going to do, Travis?
What am I going to do with what?
With your father?
Oh, I'm putting him down.
I mean, here's the thing: is he doesn't know. Okay, so your father, from what I can understand, is a hard-working man.
Yeah, he's never had a blue-collar job. He was a loan shark. He was a loan shark in the 70s and 80s. That's where he made his money.
That's awesome. Was he on the Sopranos?
No. When Carter was in office, you know, interest rates on home loans and stuff, that's what he was.
22%.
Yes, exactly. And he would get points on the back end of, he could tell you all the ins and outs of mortgage and lending and all that stuff. That was his job. That was his career. That's what he did.
Okay. So he has money, right? Or some kind of monies. It's your responsibility right now to take care of this at this moment. He's 77 years old. You know, the life expectancy is whatever it is.
78.
And, but just take care of it. I mean, if he has that, he's put you in control. You take care of it. You take charge.
I'm not touching it until he because I might need that. I don't want him to think that he's a grown man. He can do whatever he wants. I've told you, he drinks beer at 10 o'clock in the morning. I don't care. He can do whatever he wants. He's a grown man. If he needs help moving up and down, if he needs help carrying the groceries up the 7 steps to get into the house, I will do that for him. If he wants to go to the doctor and not ask about certain medications and stuff, that's on him. He's a grown adult, and I'm going to let him do that. I'm not going to sit here and babysit him. He's an adult. He shouldn't have that way. And when I say, you know, him going to the doctor, my dad has bad, where he gets his skin graft all the time because he was always, you know, living in Florida. We always went to the beach and there was no sunblock. And, you know, him growing up as a child, he's got skin cancers all over his face where they've done where they cut it out and all that stuff. He's been going through this for the last at least 20 years of going to a doctor and having, you know, one pops up. And when I say pops up, you know, it's about the size of a nickel or a quarter. And they go in there and dig this out. And I tell you that to tell you this. Hold on. He had a great dermatologist down in Florida. And they would do, you know, they'd treat him well. He'd go get something cut off of his arm. They bandaged him up. He would be lickety split. He was fine. This lady that he goes to here in North Carolina had to take something off of his, like right here. If you're watching this on YouTube, right here. About 3 inches by 3 inches, cut out something there and put a gauze on it, and the skin will grow back over. And when he goes to the doctor, he's like, "Oh, I'm having some cut work done on me and stuff." I'm like, "All right." So he comes back and he shows me. He's like, "This is the cut and everything." I was like, "All right." He went yesterday or the day before. He's like, "I can't win for losing." He comes back from the dermatologist. I said, "Why?" He goes, "That cut, that incision, this is the second time I've been infected. I'm in the cut, the surgery, it's infected." And he lifts his shirt up, and he's got a little Duke belly on him. Hold on. He's got a little Duke belly on him. And from here, from below his belly button, all the way up through, right underneath his pectoral muscles, is bruised. So the cut, the surgery was bleeding under his skin. And I'm like, "Dad, why didn't you ask something or ask the doctor about any kind of like medicine so you don't get an infection?" "Well, if I would have thought about it, I would have, but I didn't, so I didn't get it." I said, "Now look at you. You're going to get sepsis. You're going to." He's like, "I don't like this lady anymore." So that's what I'm dealing with him. And then, he takes the COVID test, and now he's, sitting in his back.
Right. So, I don't want to get into this, but my father is sort of the same way. He's 71 now and still working, but he just had his carotid arteries replaced because they were all clogged up from the good old mountain diet, right? And then, but he doesn't want to admit that. So I called him in this, "Hey, Dad, how you doing?" "Oh, well, so
You sound just like him.
yeah. Well, if you knew him, it would be the same thing. But you love your dad, and here's the thing: is that
Hold on. Let's not go that far.
no. Okay, so here is, yeah. So let's not go that far. So here is the thing.
I'm kidding. I'm just giving my dad a hard time.
No. Here's the thing about dads is that I have sought all my life for acceptance from my dad, and I've never received that. And it's not his fault. It's the way that he was raised, I guess, because he's 70-some years old or whatever it is. And I was born out of wedlock or whatever you have. But eventually you have to forgive and accept who these people are to a certain point. And
I don't look for acceptance from my dad. I know exactly my dad's role in the family. His job was to earn, to keep a roof over our heads with my mom, and to make sure everything's financially sound for the most part. My mom was the breadwinner of the family. My dad just kind of, I don't want to say snaked his way through life, but he worked very hard but had a hard life. I don't want to say a hard life. I don't want to say boo-hoo to my dad, but I mean, he did what he could based on he comes from an era, I'm sure your dad is the same way, where you didn't need a high school education. You didn't need a college education. You didn't need all this stuff to achieve in life. And unfortunately, the way the school system and everything's set up, my dad graduated with a GED. He went into the Army. He went into the reserves. He was standby for Vietnam and all that stuff. And, served his time. And it's a different generation. And
well, it is just like your dad or what you just said is. I think my dad made through the 10th or 11th grade, and maybe the 10th I know of, and my mother made it through the 9th grade. So I don't know what to tell you, man. And all these kids are just pussies.
Well, it's not that I'm aware. It's not that. It's we were talking about my dad bleeding in the surgery and stuff. he just didn't.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you got a little off track there.
Sorry.
But I mean,
Yeah.
the surgery and stuff that, he's not speaking up and he's not taking control, I guess, or manage his own personal. He doesn't have anyone, and I'm not going to do it because I don't want to sit there and go, well, Dad, you need make sure you do this and make sure you do that. Now, my wife, she's totally different. She will ask him 15 times a day how he's doing. Me, I'm sitting there in the kitchen, on the end of the bar in our island there. If he comes out, makes a cup of coffee, and then goes back in his bedroom, good. I'm like, he's good. He's up walking around. He's not dead.
Yeah.
So that's exactly. the way I look at it. But
it's a totally different generation between them and us, and then what generation are we? X?
We're Gen X. Yeah, we're Gen X.
Gen X. Yeah, it's like we are the first generation of the keyless
and the boomers.
Yeah,
my mom and dad were boomers,
sort of a mixture. I mean, these guys came back from World War II. They didn't give a shit about nothing.
Well, Vietnam, World War II people are gone for the most part.
Well, sort of.
Vietnam, Korea.
Yeah. World War II is going on, but yeah, definitely Vietnam. But I mean, it's like
Panama.
My father was Vietnam era, or and grandfather was World War II. I can go back. I'm sort of like Lieutenant Dan and go back to Civil War. But anyway, yeah, it's like, are you kidding me? You can't get something on the TV and they freak out and you're like, oh my God, what is going on?
I don't know.
And stuff. But we just got to take care of them eventually. I know that my father is getting older, like yours. My mother is getting older. I was born when she was, I think she was 15, 16 when I was born. So she's almost like my sister.
Well, hold that thought. Hold that thought, because we're going to take a quick little break and we'll come back. All right.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hold on. I had some text messages coming in. All right, we'll do one little segment and we'll wrap it up. Less than 6-7 minutes. Are you all right with that?
No, I'm good. Let's go.
Did you change your shirt or something? Something looks different.
No, I didn't do anything different.
Hey, you calling me a fucking liar? You calling me a fucking liar? Come here, I'll hit you with I love you.
And say, look, let me talk to you. Do you know the thing about the thing? About the thing about the thing.
Got to be more on point there. Here we go.
Yeah.
You ready?
I'm good.
So now we got all that straightened out. We can figure out where'd we leave off. It's always like, where'd we leave off?
Yeah.
Matt, when
technical.
you... Oh, go ahead. What? Huh?
No, technical difficulties.
Cowfish. Matt, you okay? You've been, it's almost nappy time for you, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
Yeah? You finish your box? Finish your box of wine yet?
Do what now?
Do you finish your box of wine yet?
Well, sort of. What was left of it?
Do you have a like a gauge, like when you drink? Because you're a wine drinker, right?
Right.
All right. I mean, do you drink beer or alcohol or not alcohol, like hard liquor or anything like that? Is it just wine?
It's just wine. I get the 5 liters, and then, in the box, and then whatever you do with that, you squeeze it out and get the rest of it, and then
like a ketchup bottle, get the rest of it out of there.
Yeah. Then you take it with your blood pressure medicine, and you're good to go.
Well, it's good. It's always good. When do you take your blood pressure medicine? In the morning or in the afternoon or whenever you remember to take it?
Oh, it just depends. Whenever I want to.
Whenever
It's like
see me
it's recreational, right?
Oh shit! It's fucking 3:30. I didn't take my medicine yet. I should take it.
My heart rate's up to 95. I need to take some medicine.
It's 110. What are you talking about?
Oh no! Whenever you take this medicine and do a little bit of wine, it gets down to about like 60.
What? Because I'm on blood pressure medicine too. I take what is it? Not Darvocet. It's Valsartan. I think.
Never heard of that.
That's what I'm at. It might have been a generic one, but I think I'm at the 100 milligrams. And I was taking it at night. My doctor goes, no, take it in the morning. Take it in the morning because that's, your blood pressure rises as the day goes on. She's like, just take it in the morning. Yeah. And I take milk thistle because my liver. I take blackberry hedge fund, something, I don't know. And then a vitamin D in the morning.
So, So if you drink the milk thistle is a given, right?
Right.
So I have other 3 of them. I have HTZ and Losartan, and then the other, I don't know, it reduces your heart rate and it makes you just like a zombie.
I can tell
right now.
You are zombified, man. You are getting zombified. All right, I'll promise I won't keep you very much longer because it looks like Daddy has to go nappy here. So, do you cook?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Do you cook in the house? Who's the head chef at the house?
Well, I am, right, and my wife likes to cook, but she says that get out of the kitchen because you seem like Gordon Ramsay, because I'm like, cut up the garlic, do all this, and then it ends up to a big fight.
Does it really? Just over cooking dinner? That's not a good relationship to have. Cooking dinner together should be a unison as far as 2 people coming together with one idea and achieving a goal.
And it should be, and I agree with you, but I do it the way I do it. I feel like I'm back in the Army again. You got to do this, you got to do that, blah, 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 blah. And then she gets freaked out because I'm like, let's do it this way, blah, 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 blah. And then she starts calling me Gordon Ramsay and all this stuff. And then I get offended, and then she gets offended, and then we ended up getting Domino's.
Fuck it. Flip everything over, throw it on the floor. Yeah. Get Domino's, and you forget half the time that you ordered it, and they're knocking at the door. Who's at the door?
But I'm I am a very good chef or a very good cook in everything that we do. It's just a matter of the way that I go about it. And even my kids, whenever they come over, they try to cook stuff, and I'm right there over their shoulders. Oh, like Gordon Ramsay in Hell's Kitchen. Salt, you need to put the salt. So, anyway, so.
Well,
I don't know what to do.
We're getting back on the Whole30 diet here at the house, and my wife has these 3 books. The Whole30 diet. One's a slow cooker recipe. One's like where you can make all these different recipes, and then the other one's like kind of how to live with the Whole30. It's not a cult or anything. It just teaches you how to eat cleanly. So every week we pick out a recipe, and I said that's what we're making, so we can learn how to do this stuff, on our own. Because normally, her job and working, 60-hour work weeks Monday through Friday, it's hard-boiled eggs and a non-complex starch for breakfast, and then lunch is like I forget, like broccoli or something like that, and then dinner is a chicken breast or chicken thigh with steamed sprouts. That's what we have like Monday through Friday. So the weekend we kind of experiment and stuff. So we're having some kind of. She's got me a chuck roast. We're gonna do a slow roast barbecue chuck roast without. There's no sugar involved. So the barbecue sauce we're going to have to make on our own. And then we have to put it on, do you know what? I'm going to mess this up. It's not Himika, it's jicama. You know what jicama is?
No, I've never heard of that.
Jicama looks like a root. It's about, if you're watching this on the YouTube video, it's about that big and about that big around. And what you do is you slice it thin. It almost looks like a big potato, but it's got a point, like a Hershey's Kiss type deal. And so it's got a butt and it's got a point. So we're going to slice the jicama in little thin sheets. And if you use that, and if you put it in the pan and just kind of heat it up in the pan, it's almost like a tortilla. So we're going to take the pot roast or whatever the barbecue that we're making, put it in the thing, and we're going to have that. So that's going to be our experiment this week. So I'll let you know.
So you're going to do root vegetables.
Well, the root vegetable is when you slice it, in paper thin, they're about maybe 4 inches in diameter. They will substitute, instead of using an actual tortilla with the flour and the complex whatever and all that stuff, you can use the jicama sliced thinly to replicate a tortilla. You get the same effect, you get the same texture. I don't know about the taste. This is the first time I'm going to have it. So that's what we're going to do. But I'll tell you what I'm tired of seeing on TikTok, and I'm tired of seeing on Instagram and my Facebook page, is those stupid taco burgers. Have you seen these?
Taco burgers?
Yes, where people...
No, I haven't seen that.
So what they're doing, and it's such a pain in the ass. For example, when you have a hot dog, you got hot dogs, right? But you always run out of buns. Yeah. What do? You grab a piece of bread, you put the hot dog in there diagonally, and then now you got a hot dog bun, right? The taco burger is my opinion of people who have run out of hamburger buns and is looking for something to actually hold the hamburger. So what they'll do is they'll take a 6-inch round tortilla like you get from Taco Bell or something like that. They'll take hamburger meat, like chopped meat, patty it out or whatever, and put it on the tortilla, and then they fry it. Like, this is fucking something new. Like, oh my God, look, it's a taco burger. It's a hamburger with a tortilla wrapped around it. It's so fucking annoying to see this, because then they put the cheese and they put the pickles and they put the lettuce on it and they fold it up. And it's just kind of this annoying, it's a college frat boy, I ran out of bread deal. And it's sweeping across everything. You can go out there right now, put taco burger in there. It looks like a half-ass, sandwich.
So they just replaced the bread with the tortilla shell.
Right, exactly.
They just dump all this crap into the tortilla shell.
Yep.
And wrap it up and
they called it a taco burger. Genius. I'm a genius. Yeah. Look, I came up with it. I'm a genius.
Woo.
It's so stupid. It's so fucking stupid. I was making those, it's I had a girl.
Yeah. Back in the day when you get stoned, that's what you do.
Yeah, you just make up everything. I remember when I first moved out, I bought my first house when I was 20 years old. So I'm sitting in my house, and of course, being 20 years old and still in college and stuff, you don't have a whole lot of money. And so I had this one girl that was interested in me. And she came over, and I forget what I made. I made something. And then I came up. I'm like going, look, I took mayonnaise and put mustard in it and swirled it around and then put a drop of ketchup in there. This is my special sauce. And she's like going, I've been making that since I was 12. I'm like going, really? I thought this is all new to me.
Yeah. I mean, ketchup and what is it? Mayonnaise or something like that. That's Thousand Island. Put a little, whatever you call it, a relish in there.
Yeah.
And it's good to go, man. And especially if you're that young and you're, smoking the vacuum weed.
Right.
Whatever.
And then Kraft or Heinz.
You can eat anything.
Heinz.
Peanut butter and pickles or whatever.
Is so delicious.
Grab it out of the counter and just throw it on the piece of bread.
You're laying on the floor like David Hasselhoff, freaking mounting on that sandwich in that one video. But no, I mean, I think it's Heinz or Kraft came out with like mayo chup and mustard. So they got all these combinations. I was like, well, that was my idea. And, me and 20,000 other college kids in, 1992, that was my idea. And now they're making it.
Well, I mean, these college kids have nothing to do.
No, it's all DoorDash. It's all DoorDash. They got their mom's credit card, DoorDash to their sorority house or fraternity house or whatever.
Well, yeah, they get all that stuff, and then they go and make their $10, $15 or whatever to deliver this crap, and then they're like, "Oh, what can I do?" And it's like there is nothing new. It's like we talked about in one of our other podcasts. There is nothing new about this stuff because we all used to get stoned.
Can I quote you on that? Can I quote? There's nothing new in stuff.
No. I used to take peanut butter and jelly if I had it, and I would mix it together, and I call it the swirl or whatever, and I'd put it all in one, and I would just eat it like, so I mean, if I had some bread, I had some bread,
I'd always wanted to try. I am jealous because of the person that came up with the deep fried peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I've always wanted to try it because I'm thinking of how that, like a crispy buttered bread, like a toast, and you heat that peanut butter up and it turns real creamy, but you got that sweet jelly in there. I haven't had one yet, but I am jealous about the person who created the deep fried peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So that's all I have to say about that. All right, Matt, how can all our listeners find you? Where are you located at? And give all your information.
Well, you can find me at the local jail if you want to.
After tonight.
So, yeah. So, no, I'm on all of your streaming platforms. Murder and Coffee is there. You can find us at on YouTube. We're there. And you can see our glorious host, Travis. He's there. He joined us.
I joined us on last week's show. So
yeah, he joined us there. But yeah, all of your streaming platforms were there. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever you want to do, it's there. So just like, subscribe, and tell a friend. And don't tell them that you like peanut butter and jelly.
Don't tell them?
Well, you can tell them.
Dude, you are. I don't care. I don't fucking care right now. It's nappy time.
Anyway, so thank you, Travis.
All right, Matt. Hopefully we'll see you next week. All right, we're clear.
No.
I'm losing you, Matt. I'm losing you.
Dude, I've been up since 5 o'clock.
No, I don't give a shit what time you got up. I don't care.
Anyway.
Yeah.